Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. This is Janie Crick tuning in live for our Sunday morning Facebook Live meditation. So we're tuning in based around the topic of depletion. Last week we talked a little bit about how we can stay centered in our hearts and get out of our minds for a little bit and what it means to call in for help. From our guides and our guardians and angels and ancestors. And we're still going to be doing that today, but we're also going to be focusing on what we can do tangibly, physically, in a discipline that can help us to rejuvenate ourselves. So Mother Mary on Friday was talking about how we're heading into the holiday season and how we tend to, as a culture, here in America, we tend to just go and go and go and go and go and add things to our schedule and see free time or a free moment within our schedule as an opportunity to schedule something else, which really does not serve our spiritual selves, our soul bodies. It does not serve our healing process, our resting process, especially since we're getting into the thick of the fall season and then on into the winter season, where we are going inward more, where we are resting more. You all are noticing that the sun is setting earlier. Tonight it will be setting at 5:58 p.m. and then when daylight savings hits, it's going to be a lot earlier. So this is going to be an internal time. And it's really important during these internal times to really find rest. So she talks about us depleting ourselves. We are running around doing things that we desperately think we need to do, and we're not giving ourselves time to recoup, to reflect, to rest. And this comes on a level of mind, body, spirit, and heart. I personally was experiencing this week. I think it's very interesting how these messages are really correlating with my life, particularly at this moment. And some of you who mentioned at the reading of the letter on Friday that this was right up what you needed, right up that alley. And so for me, I realized I'm a massage therapist, and I was giving a lot. I do chair massage corporately, and some days I give 36 10-minute massages, and it's intense. It's really intense. And then add in doing 3 gigs a week, and I've massaged over 100 people. It's a giving away of energy in an energy exchange because I am being paid for it, but it's still holding a lot of space. And I realize I have given over 100 people massages and I haven't received one yet myself. So it's coming into that space of realizing that we have to give to ourselves. We have to take the time to really give to ourselves. And we always hear, you can't give from an empty cup, but it's true. When we aren't centered, when we aren't settled, when we aren't grounded or nurtured in our own way, we tend to make decisions that are not centered, that are not grounded, that are not focused, that don't support our path and our highest good. I've made a lot of decisions after massage gigs where I'm like, I don't know, yeah, I'll go out, let's go out, even though I've just given a lot of my energy. And so I'll go out and I'll be tired, and then I'll be like, well, let's just stay out late. And then it just gets into this cycle. And it doesn't even have to be anything like massive. It can be an accumulation of depletion over time. It's the small amounts. And so what Mother Mary reminds us of, is that we need to be in a constant remembrance of rejuvenation, revitalization, replenish ourselves, allow ourselves to recuperate instead of throwing in 1,000,001 things. Here in Chicago, I know, and I'm sure this goes for other places as well, we have a sense of the hustle. We have a sense of getting money and getting on with their lifestyle and living very fast-paced lives. And it doesn't always serve us. Yeah, it does serve us to have that adrenaline and to have a healthy amount of stress in our lives. That's actually really good for us as humans. But to have an overly influenced amount of stress in our lives, it cuts away. And what she's saying is that we are cutting away from our spirits. By not taking care of our physical body, by depleting our physical bodies, we are depleting our spirits. And we aren't able to hear the messages that are coming through. We aren't able to be guided because we are so famished on spirit, on essence, on energy, that we can't hear it. We can't hear the messages that are coming through. And that's why last week when I got to a space of being so in my head and not having that control, that I needed my guides. And yes, they're always here to help us. But we have to take responsibility for our vessels too. Our mind, maybe, and here's a couple examples of what we can do to help rejuvenate and revitalize our four bodies. Our mind body, we can meditate. We can go into a quiet space. I don't know how many times I've said, I'm going to go take a nap, or I'm going to go, be quiet and just be by myself. And then I just sit on my phone. And that's not really being intentional. And it's an easy place to go. I speak from experience in that. But it's not restful. It's not helpful. So to ease and replenish the mind, going into a space that's still, that's quiet. Maybe listening to music without words or any sort of like meditation music. The body. Oh gosh. Replenishing the body, whether that's physical exertion because you've been in such a mind space that you need to physically move your body and sweat and go. That's a great way to replenish your body. Eating healthfully, eating mindfully, remembering that we eat food as energy for our bodies, to replenish our bodies. Eating healthy food, working out our bodies. For me, getting massages, which is allowing someone else to care for me so I can be passive instead of actively trying to heal and nurture my muscles. And then also, you can go to any sort of sauna or other treatment if that's accessible to you. But if not, one of my favorite things to do to replenish my body is to actually go and lay on the earth completely. Lay my whole body flat on the earth and just ask Mother Earth to take away anything that doesn't serve me, to hold me, to replenish me. And the amount of energy that I receive from that is pretty astounding, particularly on road trips, actually. When you're going on a road trip and you're in the car for a long time and you're moving and your body's in that constant motion, that's what we're doing in our day-to-day lives. We're just driving around and not having stillness. So, laying on the earth. Spirit, so going to nature to heal the spirit body, really being with nature, communicating with nature. I had a chief once tell me that we can talk to the trees just as easily as we can talk to other human beings. And that the tree system on our planet, all of the roots within the trees, the root system, all trees are connected. And so when you're feeling out of spirit, go and put your left hand on a tree and put your third eye on the tree and ask to receive, to be held, to be nurtured, and feel that nurturing and that love and that support from all of the trees on this planet. If you ever need any help, you can go and ask the trees. They're really, really wise guides. They've been here for a very long time. And then your heart, healing your heart, nurturing your heart, When you're in an emotional space, you're processing a lot, or you're around a lot of people who are in emotional space and are processing a lot, or you're holding space. We have to nurture our hearts. And the greatest way to nurture the heart is any sort of cathartic release. So laughing, laughter, joy, pleasure, crying, releasing in that sort of way, allowing ourselves to just ease our need for that control, to let go of that need, and to really surrender and let the heart express what it needs to express. Joy and laughter is a really great way to replenish the heart, and as well as pleasure. I've been doing a lot of intimacy work lately, and working with how I view pleasure and finding the little things in life that provide such satisfaction. It's really about slowing down. So just smelling a flower, or enjoying enjoying cooking and smelling, and it's full of pleasure to cook, to taste, to feel in any sort of way. Those will go into the five senses. And then as well as crying and releasing, which can be such a beautiful, beautiful form of rejuvenation, of surrender, of allowance, and can help us when we're in these spaces when we feel depleted to kind of get a rejuvenation, to get that little bump of truth in our lives. So let's go ahead and get into a space of meditation around this topic of depletion and rejuvenation. So why don't we go ahead and take 3 full breaths, getting into our space on this nice and rainy Sunday morning. And we close our eyes and we take a deep breath in, filling up the lungs all the way. And exhale. Good. Inhale, filling up the lungs all the way. And exhale. Last one, filling up the lungs all the way. And release. So I want you to really focus on your breath at this point and continue to breathe at your own pace, taking those full belly breaths in, expanding the lungs, expanding the side body, really breathing into the whole rib cage, and then slowly suspending the breath at the top until finally you release. So focusing on that breath at this moment. I call in Archangel Michael to bring in a pillar of protection this morning. I call on the angels of the blue ray to circle us with this protection. Myself and anyone who is participating in this meditation at any point in time, that they may receive and feel this nurture and protection from this beautiful blue light. I ask, Michael, that you connect this technology with ease, grace, and delight to anyone and everyone that needs to receive this message right now. This message from Mother Mary on really taking care of our vessels. That you may protect this technological circuit, and that whoever needs to receive this will receive this whenever they need it. I call in Mother Mary. I know that I only need to call her name and she will be there to hold, to nurture, to love, to take care, to help us replenish, to remind us to replenish ourselves, to ease into what is important, what is truly important. and to find importance in our vessel, in taking care of our vessel before we take care of anyone else, because we cannot give from an empty cup. With this comes an area and a space of discernment, a practice of discernment. And this goes into boundary setting, like we've talked about with our self-love meditations, how to set boundaries. And in this case, setting boundaries for ourselves, knowing when to say, I think I'm going to stay in tonight. Or, I think I'm gonna do a yoga class, or allow someone to hold space for me. I think I'm gonna reach out to someone to hold space for me, for a trade of energy work, for a conversation that's lighthearted, for an evening out to go see some improv or theater, to really enjoy life. I'm going to set these boundaries for myself as a form of honoring my vessel, our vessel, your vessel. Thank you, Mother Mary, for bringing us this message. I'm going to call in Archangel Uriel, Angel of the Yellow Ray. This beautiful solar plexus energy of direction, empowerment, of responsibility, discernment, integrity, ego, personality. This space where we define who we are in ourselves, this solar plexus area. Our energy, our life force in this area. Uriel, we call you in to give us this support with discernment. To allow us to see within ourselves appropriate actions of replenishing. I'm going to invite you now to tune into your surroundings, to really focus on what you may hear in this moment, in every direction, no matter the distance, hearing everything that you are truly experiencing in this moment. And truly being in a place of observation without judgment. If you're in a loud space, be there. Listen to what you are experiencing. If you're in a shared space, be there. Experience what you are participating in. If you're in a quiet place, listen for the subtleties, the little noises, the tiny noises, the noises off in the distance. Observe, observe, observe. Be in a space of no judgment, of surrender, and just hearing what's surrounding you. I invite you now to hear your own breath. From the inside. And then finally, hearing your own heart. Can you hear your heart beating right now? Can you hear the blood pumping through your veins, giving you life? So with your eyes closed in this moment, we're going to go into a place of replenishment from those times that we are feeling depleted. And this is something that you can take with you wherever you go. And so we're going to call in the elementals, the elemental beings of air, fire, earth, and water to help us replenish. So with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you are surrounded by nature on a beautiful fall day. You're warm, you're bundled, you're not cold by any means, but it's a crisp, beautiful day. Observe what you see around you. Observe the colors, the smells, the feeling that you have in this moment of being in this divine, natural space. And as you are in nature, you begin to walk through a plethora of trees. Trees are surrounding you. You're in this glorious forest. And ahead of you is this massive grandfather tree. Huge, hundreds and hundreds of years of wisdom in this tree. And it is standing so strong before you. And you observe it and you see it and you feel its essence. And you begin to walk towards this tree, feeling the earth under your feet. As you slowly inch closer and closer to this magnificence. And as you approach this tree, you see this little carved out nook in the earth right below the tree. It's a little hole. And this is a safe area. This nook is safe. And it's provided to you by Mother Earth. And you slowly allow yourself to begin to step into this hole. It's shallow, it's not too deep, but you can lay in it. You find yourself curled up in this hole. In a restful, peaceful place. And as you lay here, slowly you begin to feel Mother Earth hold you. And you release yourself into this earth below yourselves. And you feel the nurturing, and the love and the support. Now covered with earth, encapsulated in this space, feeling the warmth of Mother Earth around you. In this moment, you can ask her to take away anything that does not serve you. So we inhale and exhale, release. As Mother Earth absorbs this. And this is a space, if you need to, you can stay in as long as you'd like. There are times when my mind is racing at night before I go to sleep. I go to this grandfather tree. I go to this hole in the earth that Mother Earth has created. I stay there for a little while until I need to sleep. I allow life to go on. I invite you now to stay in this hole, stay in this space of observance, and to then pull your perspective out a little bit and observe the surroundings of this nature area. Maybe there's a deer that walks by, maybe there's a squirrel that walks by, and you're in this nature space, and for a moment, we recognize that life and activity, engagements, can still happen without our presence. And to be okay with that, to feel and trust that everything is taking care of itself. And that for this moment, there's nothing that you need to contribute that isn't taken care of, that isn't handled. That you can trust that others can step in and take care of others, that they can take care of themselves, that situations will resolve. And then coming back to your space in this hole and just feeling so nurtured and still. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, to finally feel the rain. It's a warm rain that comes over you. As you're laying by this tree, and it washes over you, and you feel it cleansing, you feel it nourishing, you feel it revitalizing, you feel it feeding the plants around you. Cleansing any hot, fiery energy that has been pushing you and then depleting you. But letting this water just wash over you. Thank you, Mother Water. Thank you, Mother Earth. And now that this water has washed over you, You begin to see and feel the sun poking out, poking in, shining upon you as you lay next to this tree, warming your body, giving you that heat and that warmth. And then you feel your body filling with this sunlight, this life force, this universal light that then fills each and every part of your body until finally you begin to emerge from this hole. You push yourself out of this hole, push the earth off of you, and you begin to crawl out of this hole with a new body, a new mind, a new spirit, a new heart. And then from there, you feel the warmth on your face, and you then feel the breath of Mother breathing onto you. And let's go ahead and breathe with this, with Mother Earth, with Father Sky, taking a breath in, filling up the lungs all the way. Good. One more breath in. Feeling the sun shining on your face, the wind blowing and giving you that cool feeling, the earth beneath your feet that just held you so dearly, the water that just poured over you, releasing, cleansing you of anything that doesn't serve you in this moment. So it's important to learn how to integrate this, to develop it as a practice, to decide, I'm not going to get to my furthest point of depletion before I decide to rejuvenate myself. I'm not going to pour out everything in my cup to everyone around me before I decide to fill up my own cup again. And so I invite you into a practice of balance within your energetic exchanges, with your time, with your energy, with your exchanges with other humans, with work, and also your balance with how you play and how you rest and how you socialize. I invite this balance and discernment. That you might find ease in this new practice. Mother Mary reminds us that it's not going to happen overnight, but that if you ever need to call upon her for that nourishment and that nurturing, to be held and allowed into a space of vulnerability, that you only need to call her name and she will be there with you. I'd like to thank Mother Mary for this space that we've held today on this gentle, rainy Sunday. It's a beautiful October day. Thank you, Mother Mary. I'd like to thank Archangel Michael for holding a container of protection, and Uriel for igniting a force within us of discernment, of recognition, of action and responsibility in our own lives. Thank you, Uriel. The last thing that's coming through right now is to give ourselves a break from technology. And it doesn't have to be forever, and it doesn't have to be for a whole day even, but to be intentional about turning off our phone for like an hour, for the night, for leaving it in the car, leaving it at home. Going on a walk without your phone is okay. You don't have to take a picture of everything. Turning off your phone for a performance is okay. Trust me, the messages will be there when you get back. The updates will be there when you get back. And then, when you have filled up your cup, you'll be available to engage in the other energies. But to really give ourselves a break and to go into nature. Thank you all so much for joining me today in this space of replenishment, this ease in space, this easy space. This is a place where I really find comfort and rest. And I hope that you have found some comfort in this meditation. Again, my name is Janie Crick, and I will be doing these letters, the living letters of Mother Mary, by Barbara Beach and Mother Mary. I read one letter every week on Friday mornings at 10:30 a.m. And this is a channeling of Mother Mary in the form of a letter. And then on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m., we do a full meditation and a discussion around the topic that has come through for us. So thank you all so much for your support and your love. If you know of anyone that needs to receive this message today, I invite you to share this video. But otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend and start this next week off from a really full cup. I love you all so dearly. Take care.